Okay, I think I am all set, Ryo.
All right, let me go ahead and start recording here. And let me start record here. And let me start with the intro music, and we'll be good to go.
Are you gonna play the intro music? Ryo?
Yes, welcome to the Road Contenders. We are live. We have Picky Girl, Jay, Crane, and Rattleton. And we have some very, very special guests on with us. We got Danny. I'm gonna mess it up. I almost said it. Danny A. Oob.
Ayub, you got it
Ayub.
almost.
Yeah.
It's
And
good.
then we also have Joel Watts. They are the
Yep.
creators of X Seeker of Fortune. And again, guys, welcome. Thank you for having for jumping on with us. Jake Crane is showing off the X Seekers now. I'm gonna slap it off his hand. But hey, welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
Excellent. Hello. Good to be here, Ryden. And thank you so much for having us on Road Contenders.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it, and yeah, Joel has a lot of creative pronunciations of our guests too, so it's definitely okay.
Yeah, you're in good company here.
Yeah,
Like I always feel like that's the most
Wait.
stressful thing about having anybody that you're interviewing. It's like, did I say that right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And you forgot to add, you had the opportunity to ask them before you started, and then
We
you
did.
don't realize that you
Oh,
didn't.
we-
Yeah.
Oh, we did, and
I did.
still.
I wrote it down. I'm like,
I,
What
I,
did I
I have
say?
to write things out phonetically in advance, and I still butcher it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I write it out phonetically. Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think sometimes Danny will go into the show notes and throw in a few words for me to say that he's like, is Joel going to get this one?
Yeah, it's always disappointing when you do.
But yeah, we wanted to have you guys on here because obviously you're currently working on your Kickstarter, which is doing amazing. You guys were funded within the first 14 hours. We all celebrated. Obviously, anyone that follows me knows that I've been pushing X Seekers for a while. I've been on the playtest team, I'll call it. But yeah, it was a big day for us when everything went live. I know for you guys it was nerve-wracking, but there was a lot of excitement, and it's just nice to see that it keeps moving up. I'm following it daily, and you guys are over 206 backers right now, so I'll put that up on the screen for everybody to see. But yeah, it's very cool. You guys are doing very, very good. How does it feel?
It feels great. It was a tremendous amount of work by a tremendous amount of people. I mean, Jay Crane, you did an enormous amount of work to help us get to this point, and we really appreciate it. We appreciate each and every backer, right? And thank you so much for your support as well.
yes, you're welcome.
It
Thank you.
definitely, it's touching. It's touching. You put a couple years of work into something, and then you flip the switch, and you're not sure which way it's going to go. So.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, go
and
ahead.
as you said, Jake Green, we have 206 backers, which I think is the most exciting part because now we're actually counting up our community. Like, we're able to say we have this many people who are going to have the game in their hands, and those people are going to then, once they have the game, they're going to want to show it or, teach somebody else the game. So 206 will become 412, 412 become, 824. It's just hopefully this is just the beginning. This is the spark that ignites the X Seekers of Fortune fan base and the community that we want to build for this game.
I think that's a great point, Joel. Like the fact that it's not really the money that's exciting. It's the people, right? Like it's
Right.
exactly what you just said. It's like these are new people who want to play X. Like that's why we made the game. We want people to play it, So that's the best part for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like the Kickstarter is you bringing the boulder up the hill, and what Joel is saying is once you let go of that boulder on the other side, it's just gonna roll down easily, But this is the hard work right now. Everything from creating the game to getting the Kickstarter started, figuring out how you were going to do rewards and everything like that, and the work's paying off. It's everyone that I talk to about the game, loves it, and people that play it love it. So definitely want to see that growth for you guys.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I did want to start by let's play the trailer for everybody to see. So I'll go here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is an amazing
Yes, I see it within you. It starts with a subtle urge. You tried to ignore it, but the call, it intensifies. Do not look away, kid. This is your moment. It is time to set your sights on new adventures in X, Seekers of Fortune. A quintessential two-player strategy card game filled to the brim with mystical challenges and unpredictable twists. As fortune seekers, race to claim 5 adventures by assembling the necessary leads to fulfill your quests. But who said it would be that simple? Throughout your quest, you and your rival will unearth ancient sites, perform staggering feats, and discover powerful relics for use in noble or ruthless ways. As you gather more experience, you will discover crafty combinations that will save your hide or sabotage the competition, leaving you with the prize. Remember, the line between a legendary explorer and a mere footnote in history is drawn by knowing when to press forwards or when it is time for cunning manipulations. It is time to answer the call. X marks the spot. Set forth and seek your fortune.
What
Oh,
a
man.
trailer!
We
What
couldn't
a trailer!
hear anything.
Oh well, it's for the viewers. You guys have already seen the trailer. It's for the viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a trailer!
Yeah, that was Ori Keegan actually helped make that trailer for us, and I think he did a phenomenal job. And and I understand why the guys wanted to hear the sound, because the sound in that really makes the trailer just play so much. It just makes it click so well. So just another proof that sound is actually what brings everything together when it comes to video production.
It does, and I'll ask you guys, like, so you said who created the trailer for you?
Ori Kagan.
Ori Kagan, like, so how was that? Like, how was that whole process in general? How did that work?
So Ori is an amazing person. So the first thing Ori does is he sits down and just interviews you about what the game is, what's cool about it, and what he's trying to do is figure out who your super fan is. And so we did a lot of deep exploration on, what we thought our main selling points of the game were. We thought that the theme was something that people would really be excited about. We thought the art would be something they would be excited about. The story, and then, of course, obviously, just like deep gameplay, strategy, accessibility, cost. Like there was just like a number of different ways that we felt like the game was something that the market really needed, and players would really appreciate. And Ori just kind of went down everything, and he jotted it all down and gave us a Word doc. He's like, "This is it," and we're like, "You nailed it." And then he was like, "Okay, I'm going to go partner with somebody here to write the script, and I'll send you guys a draft." And so he sent us a draft of the script, and we were like, "This is cool." We gave him some, minor notes. Then he came back, started working on the animation, and then we saw a draft of that. And I mean, his first draft of that trailer is very close to exactly what that trailer is. We had some very nitpicking notes for the minutia. In fact, Jay Crane, you'll appreciate this. The first version of the trailer, he included the wild leads in everyone's hands, so we were like, "Oh, we can't show those."
Yeah, that's a preview. That's it. Nobody can see that.
Yeah, we definitely didn't want to advertise something that wasn't going to be coming with the game. But I mean, aside from that, there was a few tweaks to colors, a few tweaks to, like Danny said, the wild leads. But if we were to show you the first version of the trailer and that version of the trailer back to back, a lot of people might not even know what the differences were.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Ryo, it sounded like you had something that you wanted to say.
Yes, like I would say the trailer for me, it just brings back nostalgia from like the early 90s, 2000s. when you'll have the different TCGs that were coming on, the Kids WB, like when you had Yu-Gi-Oh, Bakugan, Duel Masters. Like it immediately reminded me of those trailers where you just watching it and you just get excited and you get engrossed in it. And again, I'm a media person, so I always say your trailer has to catch the audience within the first 3 seconds. I know some people say 10. No, it's actually 3. And that's exactly what it does. And for me, as a card game player, it just ignites that feeling of 2000 Saturday morning Kids WB and just seeing a trailer for a new card game that's coming out. And that to me, I feel like that's, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like that's what a lot of people subconsciously are like. They're like, oh, that's why I love this trailer so amazing, because subconsciously you're remembering those 2000s days of just seeing that. You know, everybody remember the first time you saw a Yu-Gi-Oh commercial for the game. Like, everyone remembers that, and I feel truly that's what this trailer invokes.
You know, the only thing that I think could make it more like the 90s, like what you're looking for, is if there was 2 kids sitting at a table playing the game, and as they progress in the game, they start looking more and more dressed up like Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So
no sleeves. No sleeves.
We gotta add
Yeah,
the
of course,
X Seekers
never.
song that I made, because I did a 90s X Seekers commercial
You
type
did.
thing. Yeah,
You did.
I did, and I had another one that I was supposed to pop out that was gonna be kind of like the Sunny D commercials. And I was gonna be like, Mom, I'm bored. It's like, why didn't you play Monopoly? And it's like, I don't want that game.
Bro, I need that done in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, please.
Jake Crane, you need to get on your prop closet a hat with a propeller on it so you can play a kid.
Yeah, for sure, with a full beard.
No, nobody would care. Once they see that propeller, you know, they're going to be like, oh, kid, suspension disbelieved.
Yeah. So
Or disbelief suspended.
I'll ask you, this for the viewers. What made you guys decide to make X Seekers?
So, I think, and Joel, I'll let you jump in here. For me, at the very beginning, it started just as a pure creative project and answering a question, which was, I love Magic the Gathering. I want to play Magic the Gathering with more people in my life, but there's a lot of resistance to it for a number of reasons. And chief amongst those is just the sheer overwhelming nature of having 30 years worth of cards and having complex rule systems. And so it started as a thought experiment, which was, how could I create a game that would feel like I was playing Magic, but for my friends and family, it felt like something much simpler to start playing, like Rummy. My parents played a lot of Rummy with us growing up, and I knew that they would play it. So the initial idea for the leads and the maps was basically like, what if we had a basis for a card game that instead of it just being straight Rummy, you had set different variants of what your objectives you were trying to collect your cards for, and both the cards in your hand and your objectives could change simultaneously. And from there, I kind of reached out to Joel. And Joel, do you want to kind of talk about how that became X Seekers of Fortune?
Yeah, I mean, we could be here all day, and there's definitely episodes of our podcast, if you don't mind just plugging, the Mega Mouth Studios Super Secret Show, where we go all through the story. But Danny came to me with that basic idea, and I had just enough design experience to be like, well, I know how to I can design the cards. We can at least try it out, get it to the point where we can play a few rounds and see how it goes. But I think once I started seeing it click together, like the side of me, like Danny said, he has a lot of people in his life he would like to play Magic with. For me, I'm kind of a lapsed Magic player because I love the game, but it just became too much to keep up with. It was too demanding, and my schedule just didn't match up with it. And so the idea of like, I want to come play Magic with my friends, but I haven't kept up with, my Commander deck, and now it's like way out, it's like way underpowered for the table. It just got a little too much. So the idea of like, hey, we can make something from the get-go that scratches my Magic itch, our Magic itch, without us having to do the rat race of keeping up with something. And at the very least, if Danny and I make our favorite game that we're playing against each other, that would maybe be worth it for, this pursuit specifically. But as it grew and as we showed other people and they reacted, especially the Magic the Gathering folks or TCG folks started playing the game and being like, wow, this clicks, this feels like a game I want to play. Non-Magic folks playing the game and being like, wow, this is so exciting. However, did you come up with all these ideas and all these cards? It's like, it felt like we were meeting people in the middle. And, my ultimate hope is that this is the game that the Magic player brings to his family or brings to his loved ones who he couldn't get to play that game, but he can get him to play this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Being a person that plays the game a lot, I still remember the first time that I played X Seekers, and I remember I was just like, this feels so easy to learn. But I was like, but I know there's something more complex in here. And the more you play it and watching other people play it, you start seeing little things, and then next thing you know, you're out here and you are playing borderline competitive. But then you could still, like you said, this is a game where I think my wife would love this game, and my wife hates these kinds of games. But I think she would love X Seekers of Fortune because it's just so easy to learn. It's very friendly for people, and then I think a big aspect is the randomness. The fact that you're sharing decks makes it so that somebody doesn't get to do what Joel's saying with Magic, where all these decks are becoming overpowered and you get left behind. No, we're all playing with the same cards here, and we're all going to be equal. And right now, it's just about the RNG on how this works out. So I think that's a great way to do a game, and you guys did it.
And for me, that's probably my biggest draw to it, is the fact that I am an RNG fanatic. Like, I believe nothing is more fun than something can change at any given time, and that you really can do, but you have to be able to react to it. And that to me is probably the greatest thing. And then also, again, I'm only 32, but I grew up with Indiana Jones and The Mummy. So, and then also, Tomb Raider. So and then of course now Uncharted. So anything like that and game format, I'm instantly gonna give it a try. And I just have to say, just speaking on the Kickstarter really fast, we can go back to it later. But the coin, that makes me so happy, and I cannot wait to get mine. And I don't know why, it just reminds me of just being a scavenger and getting gold. It makes me happy.
Yep, I'm actually showing the coin right now, so all the viewers can see. But yeah, that coin is very, very cool, and it's kind of like so lore heavy. People will find out as they play that Irakai is very important. So it is really cool that you guys did that.
The intention, I think, and we hope to get more ambitious with this with each year, is that the deluxe edition of every release will have a unique relic in it. And eventually we plan to create more opportunities for players to find relics in the real world. So we want to bring an experience to the game that extends past just the cards. We want people to actually feel like this is a portal into adventure for them, both at their game stores, but just out in the wild. And we've got a lot of really cool ideas planned for really interactive, really immersive player experiences. One thing I think for people who have never heard of X Seekers of Fortune before, I would say sort of some of the secret tech, I think, that maybe differentiates X from a lot of other games is what we call the heroic feats. And for new TCG players, the way I like to describe it is it's almost like we gave you a menu of like the greatest hits of a bunch of like what you would consider like being your Swiss Army knife of cards for Magic, right? Counterspell, Ancient Grudge or Disenchant, Divination, those sorts of things. We give you those stock abilities as like something you can do up to once per turn, every turn in most cases. So you're never without spells in your hand. If I'm, again, just sticking with the Magic metaphor, so many games of Magic don't happen because you either have all lands or all spells. And in this game, you're consistently getting the resources you need to play, and you always have, at the very least, the stock heroic feats that every adventurer would bring with them on adventure. And in that way, we make sure that there is always agency every turn of the game, regardless of whether or not you've got a sick Action X card in your hand.
Yeah, and that also frees us up for the Action X cards to be all killer, no filler. We don't have to make Action X cards that cover these base abilities now because you always have access to them. And if you can use the Action X card for that more basic ability, then it's just icing on the cake, basically.
For people who might be like deeper into the Magic rabbit hole and are like wondering like, is there a Magic analog? Like,
No.
if you've played Mormare, where you have that shared deck and you're just kind of like tapping mana and then like getting something that matches that mana cost off, or like there's something similar to that in the way X works with the shared decks. And because Ryerson, you mentioned the RNG element.
Yes.
One of the interesting things about X is because you don't know what Action X card you're going to get off the top, every single game you play, your game plan is going to be different, and you're going to have to adjust. Sometimes you're on an aggro strategy, sometimes you're on a control strategy, sometimes you're on a combo strategy, sometimes you're playing stacks, sometimes you're ramping, and the deck is going to give you the pieces. And to your point, Roughton, it's your job to react. It's your job to be like, this is the game plan I'm supposed to be on to win this game.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny that you said stacks and then I uncovered Guardian Stave. It was almost perfect timing.
Oh, you serious?
But yeah, so I would say, so my next big thing is where do you want to go after this? What is the plans? Now, you're funded. Obviously, you're going to be worried about getting the game out to everybody, but what happens to Mega Moth and X Seekers of Fortune after that?
Well, I mean, that one will come down to, that's like, the amount of funding we get will determine how quickly we can act on certain things. We do have lofty ideas for the future. I mean, I would say the biggest next mountain for us to climb is the first expansion, which is going to be a multiplayer-centric expansion. So the original X Seekers of Fortune, since it started with Danny and I playing against each other, we were the only two who understood the rules, who knew the game. We designed it for that experience, the 1-versus-1 experience. But once we got comfortable, once people started coming into the community, the question became, can more people play this? And we started, even at early playtest events that we held, we saw these people who had just learned X Seekers of Fortune that day sitting down at a 4-player, to do a 4-player round, something we hadn't even done ourselves. And so we quickly realized that the first expansion is going to have to be, creating a better multiplayer experience. So we already have that actually set up in on Tabletopia, or not Tabletopia, Tabletop Simulator, with the most basic, R&D cards you can imagine, but we're starting to test that out. So the first thing that's next on our list is to do an expansion that makes multiplayer more possible and funner, and makes multiplayer feel more like a Knight of Commander, 4-player Commander. The one-on-one game, it's almost like you're playing limited Magic, like what you would do at a pre-release, and that would be once we release the multiplayer expansion, it's going to be like Commander Knight. Sitting around with your friends, maybe having a few drinks, maybe have a few something else, and just trying to play politics and make the biggest ruckus at the table.
That's perfect. And just so for anybody that doesn't know, so right out of the box, X Seekers of Fortune, you could play it either 2-player adventure or 3-player free for all as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's right.
Yep. Yeah. So the game, it does give you 2 options of how to play it, but you'll be able to do that right out of the box. No extra purchase necessary. You just need the game.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to clarify, the only thing that really stands between you and using that base game for multiplayer is the number of leads that we have coming with the base game. We just found it comes with 72 lead cards, which is your main resource that you're going to be burning through. And at that amount, it's just a little too few to do a full multiplayer game. So if you were to get 2 copies of the game and shuffle the lead deck together, you might be able to play 4-player. We just don't want to tell you that you can play 4-player with that base set and it not be totally true. But it's not going to take much to make it happen.
Third player is fine. It's the
the 3rd player.
Yeah.
So three out the box is pretty good. And then you said again, you can do 4, but you'll need a little bit more in there.
Yeah, just of the leads.
Little bit, yeah.
Yep. And we're working on. We wanted to do sort of like a lead expansion, so you could just buy some additional leads, and in the future we will offer something like that. But right now it's not feasible. Just to speak a little bit more to that multiplayer expansion, that's sort of the product roadmap for X Seekers of Fortune. So X Seekers of Fortune is going to be released in 2 box sets. So you have your box set that's going to be the head-to-head. That's going to feel a lot more like limited. That's going to feel like a lot more what you would expect for high-level tournament play. And then that story is going to have a cliffhanger. And then we're going to tell the end of the story in the second box set. So you'll get you'll get one story over 2 sets, very similar to how when Magic had just 2 set blocks. And then it'll be 2-player, then multiplayer, and then after that we'll push forward and do a brand new setting with new characters in a new environment and introduce new cards and mechanics.
Yeah,
That's
there's
awesome.
a lot more adventure tropes to get to.
Yes, that's really awesome. Ryo, did you have something you want to say? It sounded like you started to.
Yes. My next question was on the Kickstarter part of it. Actually, it's 3 questions about the Kickstarter. Again, for all our listeners, it is live on Kickstarter now. The links will be in the description of all these videos, and as well as it is fully funded. And it's again, there is the new playmats that have been added as the add-ons.
Yes.
So my question about that was this: how nerve-wracking was those first 2 hours?
Extremely.
You know-
Extremely. Go ahead, Joel.
Ugh. Well, I was going to say, it wasn't the first 2 hours that were the most nerve-wracking. It was probably the final 3 before we got funded.
Yeah, I agree
hard.
with that.
Yeah,
We
we got so close. Like we were like so close yet so far. I think we had $1,000 to go with like 3 hours left on the clock, and it just felt like every 1,000 took so long. But we just had to keep going. So yeah, I think the first 2 hours were almost like, oh, we're not. I guess we're not going to make $1 million out of nowhere. Once that settled in, once we got past that, we were like, okay, but we can still make our goal today. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Then my next follow-up for that is, I know somebody say, oh, when's it going to be fulfilled? I say, go to the Kickstarter and pledge, and then you'll see when it be fulfilled.
Agreed.
like that's the best way to find out. Like, you want to see what's in there, Jay Crane can put it up on screen, but if you want to know more about it, if you want to back it, go back it, and that's the best way to do it. So I was browsing you guys' website, and then also when we get towards the end of it, I want to do something that I do love you guys doing your podcast, which is the question of the day. I want to do one on here, so I'm gonna save that.
Okay.
I'm say that towards the end. But there's a couple things on there. Again, Tuesday Night X, which is done on Discord, where you guys play. But there's something interesting on your guys' website, if people have not been to the Mega Moth website, is that you guys do demos for LGSs. Can you expand on that a little bit more? I know I can read it verbatim, but I want to hear it from your guys. What are you doing for LGSs?
So one of the things that we really are priding ourselves on as a brand is really being focused on making sure that LGSs thrive. We understand that game stores are like the center of a lot of people's lives in this hobby. They're great places for communities to meet, and we want to do everything we can to support local game stores and make them stronger with X Seekers of Fortune, not take away. So one thing we've been doing to try to introduce the game to more people is if a game store will work with us, and by work with us I mean like help us promote the event, try to make sure that there's a good turnout. We'll show up with the games, with the mats, and some goodies, and we'll do demos for them all day long. Usually we do some sort of raffle, and then depending on how many people are there, oftentimes what that raffle will entail is game store credit at that LGS. So the idea is we're going to give you prize support for our demo, and that prize support is going to be purchased from the store, and you can buy whatever if they sell Alpha Clash, you can buy Alpha Clash. If you want to buy Grand Archive, you want to buy Magic, you want to buy Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, that doesn't matter to us. We want what matters is that the store is making money, and that players are getting a good experience and getting to try the game. And so we've done it at a few stores. And we think it's been successful because it's a win-win. Players get prize support, and the store gets a nice ring on their register at the very least. And hopefully it drives traffic. Those people, while they're there demoing the game, going to pick up some singles, pick up some sealed product, maybe get some snacks, drinks, whatever, a comic book. And so we try to do everything we can to make it a positive experience for both the players and the store.
Yeah,
So
we just really want to get that. well, you know, we just want that experience to happen at the store so people get used to the idea that X Seekers of Fortune is a communal game. We want it to be community driven. We want people, even if we're not releasing product the same way that Magic does, where you're constantly have, you know, you have booster packs and booster pack drafts. We still would love for people to get together once a week, once a month, so you know, everybody to come together and see who is the best Fortune Seeker of that week with
That's awesome.
tournaments and such.
So then my follow-up question to that, and I'll go on to the next one after that, is do you guys plan on having any kind of organized play?
We do. We do. I promise you, if we get to the point where we're putting on our version of a pro tour, people are going to lose their minds because I'm going to kick off a pro tour with a feast. Like all of the people who are cutting to the top 8, we're going to put them at a long table, like something you see out of like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. And we're just going to, it's all going to be pageantry, right? Like we want people to feel like they can experience things that they didn't think they were going to get to experience in their life. And, you know, for us, player experience is paramount, right? You know, like we've been very, very careful. The game is going to be collectible. I know a lot of people say X Seekers of Fortune is an expandable card game. It's not going to be collectible. It is going to be collectible, but the way we're doing collectability is closer to the way like Marvel Snap does collectability, where it's based around cosmetics and non-game pieces. And what I mean by that is there will be collectible game pieces, but it won't be the only way to get an essential game piece to build your deck. So if you want to play X Seekers of Fortune, you're always going to have access to the cards that you want, but you may not have access to the variant you want. So that's where the collectability is. And by doing that, we can keep collectors happy because they can chase the collectibles without interfering with the supply of cards that are needed for competitive play and the players. So both parties can stay happy, and that's really important to us.
Yeah, that's a really cool way that you guys approach that. And I think everybody's going to appreciate that because right now, every new TCG that comes out, and obviously we're starting to see now the kind of downfall of a lot of these TCGs that came out during COVID. You know, obviously MetaZoo down, Akora down, and it's just like it's not doing good. Then you have the other games where the collectability is unbelievable, but the play is just not there. And examples would be like Sorcery. Sorcery, the cards, you know, people are chasing those cards and they're paying big money for it, but try to find a store where somebody's playing Sorcery. It's not happening. People are not doing it. So you guys have found that like middle connection that could make you guys something really special.
Well, one of the things I think is short-sighted, you know, by a lot of these startup TCGs with the collectability is your cards aren't worth anything if there's not a demand for them. And there's only demand when people are playing the game. And so you have to start with solid gameplay, you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's like, look at some of the Magic cards that are worth the most amount of money and like, why are they worth the most? It's because they go into decks that are played. At least that's, I mean, I could be proven wrong. Generally true, though.
Right. Yeah.
It's like people don't just want Black Lotus because it's collectible. It's because it's one of the most powerful cards. And if you are a cube player, you would love for your cube to feature Black Lotus.
And the other nice thing about the way we're approaching this, I think, is, and you, Jay Crane, you said this to us at one point, and it's always stuck with me. People always worry, okay, well, if I buy into this game, is it going to be around in a year? With X, you buy this game, it doesn't matter. This game is full. You can play this version of X until the buildings start to crumble around you. You know,
until it turns to dust itself.
If there's never another expansion, you're still going to have a full game experience that is fun and rewarding and infinitely replayable. And then with each subsequent expansion, that world is just going to grow. And ultimately, one thing that we really hope is that in a few years, when there's enough cards out in the market, people will start building their own adventure cubes, and they'll be building their own environments. And I have a feeling that the best formats of X Seekers of Fortune are going to come out of the community, and it's going to be what people say, hey, this is the list. Try this list. This is fun. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I always love is seeing what people do with Magic cards. I've seen like, you know, a zombie survival deck. You know, I've seen, of course, what Forgetful Fish. These are games that are made out of Magic that, you know, Wizards of the Coast never even intended. And they, you know, the creativity of the community was, we're going to take this game and make a sub game out of it.
Yeah. And kind of like piggybacking off of what Danny said, and me and Ryo actually just had this conversation last week. For example, Alpha Clash, I try to get a master set of every set. And the reason why I do is not because I'm collecting the cards. It's because exactly what you just said. Like, I want, even if the game doesn't continue, I want to be able to have my friends over and say, well, I have 4 of every card. If you need to make a deck, you can make it. With X Seekers of Fortune, it's nice to just, hey, there you go. Now you have this game and you can do it forever. Yeah, and it's awesome. It's awesome because, you know, there's a lot of card games that aren't as technical as X Seekers of Fortune, but that kind of have that same style. And I'll say, like, Cards Against Humanity is one of those games where, like, everybody got that game. I don't know anyone that I've ever been to their house that doesn't have a copy of Cards Against Humanity. And it's because if you want to expand it, you can. You don't need to. You can have different versions of it. So it sounds like X Seekers of Fortune is going to have that appeal.
And I feel like that is the key to longevity. Is because I even say this is talking about X Seeker, and I mean this in a positive way. I feel X Seeker is one of those games that if you go to a convention, how they have like the free board game area. This is a game that people will look at, they'll see and go, "This is really fun. Hey, let's play this. This is really fun. Cool. I kind of want to take this home with me. Where can I buy this?" And I feel like it's one of those games that you look at because again, I see the box art, and I keep going back to it grabs your attention. You open up, you play it, you realize, oh, everything is in here. And for the consumer part, you tell someone, hey, you can buy this and you can play with X amount of people, no pun intended, haha, X equals.
Well, the X stands for many things.
Many things, where you can play with X amount of people, and if you want to do more, then you can do more. And I would say that's the biggest thing about marketing. It's always given that, well, you have this and you can. You don't have to, but if you want to, and it's like, hey, if you have 5 friends, you don't want to leave that 2 people out. Well, you know what? I will go ahead and purchase another one. Like again, it's that game that you can bring in, and it goes back to that part of what's going to make it continue to last and make it grow. Is not that, oh, I have, you know, I have this token and I have this card and it's better than yours as a collector. I'm a collector, snoop. No, it's going to be, hey, this game is fun. I want to keep playing it. I've played it since the beginning, and now all of a sudden the stuff I had in the first is worth money.
Yeah.
Yes,
or,
absolutely.
like I said, that draws people to anything first. People who are looking to buy something to flip it, they're starting to realize that they're just wasting money. But the games that people are enjoying and they're playing consistently, now their cards are starting to go up. And that's what I would say the biggest thing about some of the new games that makes me gravitate towards their model is I always ask, my question is, are you doing it to give people enjoyment, or are you doing it to line your pockets? Right. I get it, it's a business, you have to make money, but if your main thing is, oh, I'm trying to line my pockets, I just don't deal with you. Because I feel like integrity wise, you're not a good person. You're going to get your money and leave. But you say, hey, I built this game because I love seeing people have fun and play games. I'm a supporter we'll ride together.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
That's exactly how we feel. I think that for us, and I hope Jay Crane can testify to this, but we really try to put players and community first, and we do our best to listen. I mean, even before the Kickstarter, I mean, there were major decisions left to be made, and you better believe that we were on the phone with Brian and Emmy and Laird and Andy and all the other big community members saying, like, hey, what do you think about this? If we did this, how would you react to this? And we changed our mind.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a number of decisions that we can point to, even going into the Kickstarter, where we talked to the community, the people who have been standing by us, and they said, hey, I think you should do this, and we did it. And you know, part of it is because I love TCGs, but I know that they're expensive, and I know that there's a lot of people that are like, you know, in school and, you know, or in high school even, you know, and they want to play these games, but they can't afford to keep up with standard or whatever the game is. And it was important for us that we felt like we made a game that was for everyone in terms of economic accessibility and easy enough to learn, but still, you know, deep enough, because again, if people aren't playing a game, is it really even a game? Like, why are you doing this? And for us, the players come first. The players, the stores, and the artist are the three, core pillars of who we prioritize.
Well, it's awesome that you said that because that's where I was going with next. Obviously I was showing off the cards a second ago. The art. Talk to us about the art. Talk to us about the artists involved here. Obviously, none of these artists are computers, so
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say earlier to the point about if we were looking to line our pockets, yeah, we could have lined our pockets if we made a super collectible card game and just decided to give all the art to just the AI, to Midjourney or what have you. That seems to be what the other people are doing who are looking to make a quick TCG these days. We decided once we realized, I would say Comic Palooza 2023 last year was a huge milestone for us because that was when we got other people, outsiders, to play the game, and we got that reaction of we have something here. At that time, we just had a prototype that I had done the design for, and we had temporary art on the cards, just enough to give people an idea of what the game is supposed to look like, so that they weren't distracted by having black and white cards with like clip art on it or something like that where we started. So we had designed it just enough to give people the experience. And when we got that feedback, we realized we can sink some of our money into this. We can we can actually make a really polished product. And one of the things that became paramount to us at that point was to find artists to work with, because one of the things that we love about trading card games is the art. And I was a big fan of when you have a Magic deck or whatever, most card games, when you have a deck, you don't have like one artist all the way through, unless that was your intent. You have all these different styles, sometimes complementary, sometimes clashing, but they kind of give you this wider idea of the world. Like there's all these different artists in the fantasy world just going and painting what they saw, and then you collage them together. So I was really high on the idea of let's get a variety of artists. We didn't know what that number was going to be, but we were just out there looking, and we were finding art styles that we thought would work, and we wanted to have a range of like very, kind of like more realistic, more pulpy, more expressionistic, things like that. And so we started just looking on ArtStation. That was like the main place we went to. This website called ArtStation, great place if you're looking for artists. Found people that the art that they had up on their page resonated with us, and we just started reaching out. Not everybody got back to us, and people who got back to us didn't always follow through, but eventually we got that number up through ArtStation and a few recommendations. We got that number up to 7 different artists. They have a variety of amount of art because some of them work faster, some of them are a little slower, and at the end of the day, we had to kind of get this art done within so many months so we could go into production. But when you look at the deck, you're going to see 7 different human artists from around the world who all got to express, themselves. We used some of them to help us with the concepts of the characters, locations, so that way they could have consistency throughout them. And I think it's going to set your imagination on fire if you look through those cards and try to tell yourself the story, or try to piece together the story like a puzzle yourself.
Yeah. And what would you call the art style that X Seekers went? Because like when I've said it before, I've said like retro American comics. Like I think of like Johnny Quest and Rin Tin Tin. Mm-hmm. Like I think of that era of cartoon. But what would you guys call it?
Did you say Rin Tin Tin? How old are you?
The most popular movie star in cinema history.
Yeah, come on, man, Rin Tin Tin.
I think you nailed it with Johnny Quest. I guess I would call it pulp adventure is the style. Okay. But I think and I think that it ranges. So the main person who got the majority of the artworks his name is Slobodan Jovanovic. I might be saying the last name wrong, but he had this like almost like old Conan the Barbarian style. Yeah. When I saw his art, I was like, this is kind of metal. It's kind of Saturday morning TV. And he knew how to put a lot of details into a little bit of space. He could really pull off like one of those big, outdoor market kind of things. And we knew we wanted that scene in our game. So he kind of got to take over the majority. And when we do a comic book, we are probably going to enlist him because I think he's the heart and soul of the game. But the other artists, I think they would make up the covers and the splash pages and things like that. And their art is there's a variety to it. I would definitely say they kind of lean more towards a little bit more formal.
can talk a little bit, Joel, about why we chose them. I mean, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we're
a good
just
idea.
on Mimic Map, which is the art there on the box, the deck box that everyone's going to get. And this is Melissa Lipscomb. And Melissa, we chose because she is phenomenal at creating like surreal images. So we had her do Mimic Map, Sacrificial Altar, Shrine of the Wild Tongues, and Burn the Records. And they all have
Love Burn
sort
the
of this.
Records.
I know. It's
Thank you.
Yeah, Burn the Records is incredible.
There's a reason it's one of our full art maps.
Yeah.
She's just really good at bringing in sort of that weird, surreal, sometimes gruesome, images together in a beautiful way. This is Nate. This is Nate Artis, and Nate is just he can do anything. He seems like he's able to render anything that we come up with, which is crazy, and just able to really put excitement into his images and really breathe life into them. The Cavern of the Mirror Pools you had there was Azid Fozzie. Again, as it is just really good at showing places. Like fell in love with his rendering of sites, and so we knew that we wanted him involved on sites. And then Daniela Ivanova, which you haven't seen there, and Andrea Broganier, they're just I don't know how they're not famous artists.
In
That's
comic book
one.
parlance, that's Nate. Right
Yeah,
there.
this is Nate's art.
Nate might be
but
famous already in the Philippines. He's got a big
following. He's on his way. That art alone is getting Nate work. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Is reporting.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
But I would say that if you were to look at Daniela and Andrea, their artwork is definitely what I would consider cover quality. Like if you look at Silence the Ego, that thing you could just imagine it being sitting on a comic book shelf and just begging the kid to pick it up.
Yeah,
I would pick it up because again, as like I said, like I would pick it up and not even think twice about it.
Yeah, because honestly, I'll say this: even if someone doesn't want to get the game, buy the playmats. The playmats are incredible. Like I'll bring them up here, but the playmats are amazing.
Oh yeah,
You know,
we believe those playmats will look good with any card game you put on it. Yeah, thank you.
What were you saying, Ryan?
I'll tell him, give me what you say. You know what I want to see. Give it to me.
Yep, right there. Burn the records.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And there's a lot of other cards I can't wait to put on playmats. Like I can't wait to do a make off with playmat. I think that's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will like that.
Yeah.
And plus, look
doesn't
at these prices too. Like you can't get a double stitch playmat under $25. So to be able to get this art, high quality art, high quality playmat, and get it for this price, like, come on, guys, look at this. $75 will get you 5 playmats with all these art. This is definitely the pack to get.
Yeah.
It's the pick of the week.
Yeah. Yep. And then if you're somebody that likes a more technical playmat, they do offer also technical playmats like these. So, same thing. I'm going to be picking up all of them. So,
yeah, those are specifically there to help teach you how to lay out the game. Because I'll just let you know, I'm a little bit on the stickler side, and I think the game should be laid out in a very specific way. So we kind of made the playmats that come with the deluxe bundle to teach people how we would like to have the game laid out in case they're ever on coverage, if they're ever on camera playing the game.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
I'm like the worst person for that. Like,
Yeah.
I think I made a comment because somebody was playing Alpha Class. I said, "Why is your board so clean? I don't like this."
You wouldn't like playing against me, sir. You wouldn't like playing against me.
It was just way too organized. I'm like, no, just shift something. Shit.
Yep. No, I'm that kind of person. If I play Magic against somebody and I see you play a land in the front of your playmat, we're done. We're done here.
Get behind me, Seaton.
Yeah, no way. Who does that?
And that's why I said, like, for X Seekers, I know the first time I play, like, with the physical cards, I'm just gonna everybody who plays it, I'm gonna piss them off instantly because I'm not gonna set it up correctly because everything's gonna be smushed together in one line. It's not gonna be. It's not. Everything gonna be. It's not gonna be good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm apologizing now.
Just
I can't wait.
the only thing we ask is your active adventures go down the middle, just down the middle of the board.
Yeah.
We'll show you. We'll show you.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
will try. I will give it my all.
Thank you. Thank you.
And actually about showing Ryoton, so we're gonna be in Origins next week, me and Ryoton.
Okay.
I know you guys are
awesome.
gonna be at Origins next week. So this is the perfect chance for Ryoton to get the cards in his hand, learn how to play, and then let me stomp them to the ground in front of everybody.
Excuse me.
Is that going down?
Excuse
How about
me.
this?
I'll flip tables.
Brian, how about you record the teach, Danny and I teaching Ryoton, and then we'll record you two playing against each other and see who flips the table first.
100%, because me and Ryoton have a rivalry that cannot be quenched.
It really cannot be.
Nope.
Here's
Like-
what we should do. We should get you guys playing at Origins, and then afterwards we should play. And Joel and I will commentate your match. You won't be able to hear us, but we'll commentate and to bring that real competitiveness to it.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I'm up for it.
So yes. And we don't go easy. We'll let you know the wrong plays, or at least we'll let our audience knows what you're doing wrong.
So Ryoton, I'm bringing this to Origins, and
bringing that?
we're gonna play. We're gonna play in the hotel room.
Okay, let me ask this question.
Nice.
What's you say you get in about what? 8 o'clock? 7, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, we should be there on the 19th, probably in the evening. Yeah.
Cool. By 10 o'clock, I'm gonna need you to walk down to the lobby and get whatever I need. Because you know me, I can learn a game, but I perfect that game in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, if it only takes you 20 minutes, most of the time it'll take you 5 with X Seekers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, you don't want these problems.
I'm there. I'm ready for you to be a vocal member of the community. We're ready to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had mentioned this earlier. What made me want to work with you guys was how I saw how close to the community. Even back then, I remember when I first started, there wasn't a lot of members. And it's just incredible to see how the community has grown. We've become a family all together. And it's great because, obviously me and Raya, we're big in the Alpha Clash community, and that's something that also pulls us towards Alpha Clash, is how close the community is. But it's nice to see that X Seekers is paying attention to their people. You guys are listening, and I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
So I know I said this,
Mm-hmm.
Jay Crane. I don't know what I said, but I would love eventually if we could do an Alpha Clash X Seekers crossover.
Okay.
That would be that'd be some awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we can teach you guys Alpha Clash. We'll play X Seekers. You guys play Alpha Clash.
Yeah, we'll play Alpha Clash.
Yeah, something like that.
We're down. We've
Like
been
I-
wanting to play Alpha
like I said,
Clash.
I could see a wonderful video where it's myself teaching Ryoton how to play X Seekers and just how smoothly it goes. Then Brian, you teaching Danny how to play Alpha Clash, and just all the times, all the little intricacies you have to get under and cutting between the two.
Yeah.
Be good.
Start going okay, X Seekers here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out your stuff. Nice, absolutely. I won't do anything. Alpha Clash. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and buff, and I'm gonna go ahead and buff. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Reduce your deck by 6.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As long as you got the decks built, I'm willing to learn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got you. We have
We got
enough
plenty of
cards.
those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pika, how about you? Do you have any questions?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
I forgot you were here. You're
Pika, have you been able to look over the cards, look over the art? Has anything really stuck out to you?
I mean, I've looked at some of them.
Okay.
I just like the color, like the arts, the colors. That's what pops to me.
That's great.
Yeah, we were really intentional about the colors. In fact, that would be the big note that Danny would always give back. It's like, it's a purple card, it has to have purple on it, and
Yeah.
I have to agree. It makes the card sing.
I just say my thing is when it comes to purple, for some reason I don't like the purple and blue mixed together. I don't know why.
Really?
He's been very vocal about it.
I don't know. It bothers me.
When purple and blue are together.
Yeah, when they mix together, it just, I don't know what it is. It just really bothers me.
Just in our game or in the world in general?
Oh
Like,
no
in
no,
the world in general.
everything. Yeah,
In general.
everything.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you might need to talk to our graphic designer to see, like, you might have like some very specific cones going on in your eyes or something like that. That's very interesting.
Like it's everything. Like even like for Alpha Class, my top 8 mat is like purple with blue in it, and it literally bothers me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Question I almost forgot. And Jay Crandall, you could answer this, but will they be standard sleeves? Like standard, like are the cards the standard?
They are. I
They
would
are
say.
310 GSM Black Core.
Yeah.
We try to
There we
make
go.
them
We rec-
feel just like a TCG card.
Yeah, we recommend clear sleeves because all 3 decks. So the game is played with 3 different decks. If we didn't explain that earlier, each deck has its own card back. So either you're going to need to get 3 different colors of sleeves, or you just get a whole bunch of clear sleeves, and that way you can see the card back, which I think is a very pretty card back. I don't know if Jay Crane could slide one out and show it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we have 3 different card backs, each indicate which deck is which. That's the lead card back, and you can see it has the ladder going down into the hole, kind of showing off that it's like, you're going into the depths of a dungeon or something to that effect. So yeah. Standard sleeves. These aren't Yu-Gi-Oh style cards. They're not like those what is it, bridge size cards for poker? Bridge size. These are standard playing card size, and so they fit all the standard card sleeves.
Yeah, Joe, I gotta agree with you. I 100% think that these should be sleeved and clear, like
Yeah.
because each backing is unique, and I just don't think you want to cover that up. That's just me though.
Yeah, it's I think it's also too pardon, like I've played the game so much, so like I know the placement of everything, but I think for newer players, clear's the way to go.
Yeah, clear's your work. You remember, Jay Crane, it's not about you.
Yeah, well, this is my copy, so it's all about me.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so what do you guys think? What do you think we should do to help you guys to move forward? Because we obviously want X Seekers to get bigger than it already is. We already showed off how good the Kickstarter's doing, but I want to see 200. You know what I mean? Like I want to see 20. I want to see 20K.
Well, yeah, of course you want to see
Yeah.
20K because that's when we start unlocking stretch goals. Now, that's the thing. We hit in one day we got $10,000, what we were asking for to get started. But we do believe that we have some really exciting stretch goals for you. So let me explain the stretch goals. Inside the box, you're going to get a promo pack. And right now, the promo pack only has Mimic Map in it. It's the only card that comes in that promo pack. But as stretch goals get unlocked at every $10,000, we will put another card in there. And eventually, that's not just going to be a promo pack. It's going to be an expansion pack. It's basically going to be the first expansion of X Seekers of Fortune. We're going to have new cards. We're going to have alternate art cards. And if we're so lucky, we are going to unlock even what we call heroic feat markers, cards that allow you to keep track of which heroic feats you have used and haven't used in a turn, which we think is not necessarily necessary, but it will be a nice add-on. So if we hit, I think it stops at what, 100,000.
Well, these things are buried, Joel.
Yeah, these things are buried. Yeah. Right now we're only at
Okay.
50K right now.
Yeah.
But
No,
yes,
well, we're on the-
spoilers, Joel. No spoilers.
Well, I'm all
I
about
will tell
the
you at the
spoilers.
bottom of there is something
Call
very
me-
cool at the very bottom of that.
yes,
Yeah,
right
we'll
here
keep
is
that a
the
secret.
best. Right here. If we could get here, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way that y'all can help us, and there's a reason for everybody to help us, because we definitely believe in that if we, ape strong together, if we all pitch in, the more people who come together on this, the better the product is going to be that you receive because of the stretch goals. So the thing I would just say, share it with people on your social media. If you haven't tried the game, come to our Discord channel, and somebody in our Discord family will show you how to play the game,
Yes,
so
they
you
will.
understand it better. And I would highly recommend giving the game a try. If you're skeptical at all, I think one playthrough will teach you this is a game worth picking up. And just preach to your friends. The more the merrier. We're building a community here. There's going to be people ready to embrace you with open arms when you become a seeker of fortune.
That's awesome.
That was put perfectly. Like yeah. I don't even know how to follow that up.
I think I just won the podcast. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. But like I said, before we let you guys go, like I want to get in on the question of the day.
Let's do it.
Oh yes.
Yes. So since you guys are our guests, I would like for one of you guys to come up with it. I feel like if you're not watching the podcast, not subscribed to the podcast, get on to make them off YouTube. You guys put it on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. And on the podcast, they do a question of the day and get something for me. Like when I'm watching it, it's just kind of fun to see what the answers will be. So I'm excited. What you got for me? And everyone's going to answer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we come up with the question.
Yeah,
We
he
come up
wants
with the
you
question.
guys to give us a question. Yep.
Yeah, my questions would be
man.
too weird.
Oh, we love
Okay.
weird questions. That's our bread and butter.
I don't know if I'm not sure. There has to be an equivalent character in Alpha Clash, and yeah, just to make sure, if you want to hear the other questions of the week that we've done so far, Megamouth Studios at YouTube is a great place to go. You can also find us on any podcatching app, Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. We have over 50 episodes, so 50 questions of the week, I'm sure. So the question of the week for y'all this week is, and you're going to have to help me out here, Homelander, Omni-Man, and the evil Superman from y'all's game Alpha Clash.
Magnate.
Is there one?
Magnate. Yep. Magnate is his name.
All right. Let's just go with the classic. In a fight, three on three, free for all, whatever, or one versus everybody, free for all. Who's taking it?
Oh, I already know who I'm picking, so I'm gonna go last.
All right, Pika Girl. We'll let you go first, Pika Girl. Who do you think would win?
Geez.
That's it. So in between Magnate, Omni-Man from Incredible, right?
Yes.
And
And Homer.
or Invincible.
And, Invincible, right? Invincible, and then Homelander from The Boys.
Who would win?
I'm gonna go with Homelander.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, okay.
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 I'm gonna say Magnate on this one. Magnate is pretty heartless, and like obviously from the look you get that he's just like another evil Superman, but it's more like think of Superman mixed with the Hulk. Like he has gamma powers, and he can create gamma spears. He's radioactive. Like he's intense. Plus, he's just a piece of shit kind of person. So he does have that like Homelander flair about him because he does feel like he's the best. But you know, anyone that knows the lore of Alpha Clash knows what he did at the United Nations, and he doesn't play.
No, he didn't.
So, for me, I'm going with Omni-Man. Let me tell you why I'm going Omni-Man. Because Death Battle did Omni-Man versus Homelander, and they made so many great points. That Omni-Man comes from a descendant race where he fights people that are like they're as strong as him or stronger, and he won.
Yeah.
Homelander has never fought anybody stronger than him, and then Magnate never fought anyone stronger than him. So Omni-Man is going to come in like, cool, I have the most experience out of both of you, and kill them.
That is fair because Magnate is fairly new. You know, the powers are new that these people have. So I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
And I would
part
say
when
this
it comes-
also: Magnate got outsmarted by an 8-year-old. So come on, like come on now.
I'm sure he demands to live that one down.
Yeah. So you know, Alpha Clash has 8-year-olds with backpacks full of guns. So you know, stuff like that happens.
Okay.
Pretty much everything.
As somebody who doesn't know these characters nearly well enough, you know, especially Magnate, I'm just going to say Red Sun Superman is my choice.
Wow.
Ooh,
That-
okay.
Wow.
The
Wow.
communist Superman.
Yeah, communist Superman.
Wow.
Yes.
I guess I'm
okay.
going with the 8-year-old with the guns. Like,
Yes, yes, Haven coming in for the win.
And folks, if you like Danny's answer right now, you can expect those shenanigans on the Megamall Studios Super Secret Podcast.
100%. These guys are hilarious. 100%. But yeah, what are your closing notes? What what is it that you want to get across to our viewers so that they know? Besides, obviously, checking out the Kickstarter, trying out the game.
I think the biggest message that we want people to hear is that we care about our players. We want to deliver a game that is affordable, that is extremely fun to play, that is strategically rewarding, that is easy to share with people in your lives, and we just want you to come play with us. That's it. We just want you to come play with us. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say everything you've seen that Jay Crane has shown off about the game, everything we've talked about with the game, 20 months ago, it didn't exist. Danny came to me with an idea, and I said, let's roll with it. And we've just been working on it day in, day out for the last 20 months. And hopefully, with any luck, we'll be working on it for the next 20 years. Just, and to quote Shia LaBeouf, don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it.
Just do it.
Honestly, I hope to take that as inspiration one day, and maybe me and Ryleton will pop out a trading card game.
Yeah.
Because that
All
would be
right.
good.
We're into it.
That would be insane.
Yeah,
That would be
crazy.
insane.
You got some playtesters right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We'll be there.
Like I wouldn't even know where to start. But you know what? I even gonna put it. What's bad for me? I'm a person. I can't sleep when I have a mind. I'm gonna be up all night, just like, well, what if I did this and the card game spin around real fast? And it's like Beyblade trade card games.
That I will say
This
though.
is what I get to do with the rest of the night.
I will say this: working with Danny and Joel and the rest of the team at Megamoth has shown me how difficult it really is to put together a trading card game. It's not an easy feat. So when you see all these games out there and stuff like that, like understand a lot of work goes into it. When it's people that actually care, a lot of work goes into it, because there's some companies that. I won't say any names, but there are some companies that just take a lot of shortcuts because all they want is that final paycheck. But Seekers of Fortune is not one of those things. So, and we've done our fair share of reviews of different games, and we're planning on doing more throughout the next couple of months. And we've seen, there's one of the games that we did that you can tell, like, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, wow, like, I can tell these people did not put in the work. Like, mechanics are broken, things don't make sense, so not even rule books make sense. And I'm just like, wow, like, I can't believe that, these people put out this product and people bought this stuff, and, at the end of the day, you got something that honestly could fail because of the fact that they didn't put the love in that they should, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just did a demo for a YouTuber who does like overviews of a lot of games at once. I'm not going to name him specifically here, but I'm sure he'd be somebody that would be good to have on y'all's show. And yeah, he made mention of like, he will play these games, he will try these games out and find in his first time playing the game infinite combos that the creator did not intend. Yeah. And it's just like it takes a lot. There's a lot of corners you have to check. Like I want to give a shout out on that front to Laird because
Laird is infamous.
There's been a few game breaks that he found that if he hadn't found them, somebody else would have, and I'm just glad it happened while we were in playtesting.
Yeah, find somebody who can count cards to play test your game. That's a good.
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
That's a real good thing. Yeah, for real.
Really? Okay.
Ryleton, we need a numbers guy. We need a guy with math.
Man, I don't know nobody. Man, I don't know nobody who knows no math. Man. I don't know, man. I'm just a scrub.
Ryleton, you're one degree away from Laird. You just have to show him the game. Jay Crane will introduce you to Laird, and Laird will show you just how to count cards, basically.
Yeah. Laird is. Let me tell you, that guy. I don't know how his brain works, but he sees stuff that you just don't see.
That's like, and also those are like the best people who you want on your playtesting teams is people who can look past the norm and say, nah, this is something that I can do. You can't do that. No, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna show you I'm gonna do it.
No, for sure.
I'm one of them people. Like my whole thing is always, whenever I see a new game or a new set, my first thing is, cool. How can I break this?
That's what we want.
That's always my first intention. How can I break this?
Yep. Ryo and me, I was gonna say Ryo and me have done our fair share of breaking stuff, and then our decks get nerfed, and it's
like literally immediately, like within the next 10 minutes. Nah.
Yep.
So here's a question for you. One question.
Yeah, sure.
Alpha Clash is relatively young, right?
Yep.
Is there a consensus best home brewer, deck builder of the community who comes up with the sickest, most competitive decks in the Alpha Clash community?
It's hard. Do you? You want me?
Me.
I'll let you go first, Ryo.
I mean, because like my arrogance will say me, but it's more of like I will build a deck that only my brain will understand it,
That's good.
and that's because I build the deck like I'm playing chess. I never build my decks like I'm playing checker. Like my decks, I'm already know what I'm doing on my turn 4, regardless of what you did on your turn 4 or turn 5. And the people who figure out my decks are people who build their decks based on chess moves. And that's why a lot of people look at my decks and go, "Oh, this doesn't work. Or why would you play this? Why would you do this?" And I go, "Because again, I'm already 5 moves ahead."
Yeah.
And then you have some people who build for consistency, where like, "Hey, I want to do this consistently every single time, and this is what I believe is the most mathematically superior deck," and they'll do that. And if it doesn't work, then they get very upset. So you have those. So you have those two camps, and that's why I say it's really hard to say because people have their own flair how they build their deck. Some people go, "Hey, this is what consistently makes sense. This is what I'm gonna do every single time. This is gonna work." You have people who I say build their decks like Pokemon TCG, where it's a lot of tech pieces in there, where they say, "Hey, this is my game plan. These are my tech pieces." And then you have people who are like, "Cool, I'm building my deck to no matter what you do on my turn, this is still gonna be my play, and my play is gonna push through." Which I say those are the chess players, where it doesn't matter what you do, my end game is going to trump you no matter what.
Yeah.
I see.
From my point of view, it's different because of the fact of and I'll go into the story. But like me personally, how I build decks, I'm the kind of person where I build something and then I play test it, and based on how things go through the playtest, I decide what needs to be switched out until I get to what I believe is the perfect version of that deck. And then once I get to that point, typically I'll retire that deck, being honest. Like, it's just, I'm not trying, I don't chase metas. A lot of people chase metas, and I don't do that. Even right now, I'm working with one of the contenders that is, like, no one is even talking about. And I did the same thing last set. It was a contender that nobody talks about, and now it's gotten to the point where, like, people talk about nerfing the contender, but it's like, I've already done that, and I'm done. And so it's just like how it's been. But my thing is, it's hard for me to say who are the crazy deck builders, because Vegas really surprised the entire community. Everyone thought that they understood how to build decks. Everyone thought that they knew what they were doing. And then a team from Flesh and Blood showed up to Vegas for the biggest tournament that Alpha Clash has had, and showed up with a deck that no one in the community had thought up of. And they just started playing the game. And their team ransacked through that whole tournament. So it goes to show you, like, the whole community, people that have been playing since the beginning, didn't see something that a random group of guys ended up seeing. So it's just like, it opened up my eyes to, like, wow, we really need to broaden and evolve what we're doing. So now it's like the Renaissance is what I like to call it. It's the Renaissance of Alpha Clash right now. People are building insane decks. People are building now three-colored decks. And it's just, it's crazy to see it. But the first couple sets, it just seemed like everybody was pretty much just like a color and blue. Everybody had blue. Yeah. Because it was the only ramp in the game. Magic? It was the only ramp in the game. So everyone had blue in their decks. But now, it's just evolving. People are seeing that we didn't think about stuff that we got to see in Vegas. So it's hard to decide on who that deck builder is right now, because everybody is just, their brains are working. Everybody's just digging deep and trying to figure stuff out. Level. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, no, that almost sounds. I don't know if y'all have ever watched the Super Smash Brothers Melee documentary. I think it's just called the Super Smash Brothers, but that sounds like a story that would have taken place in that documentary. Like, it's like everybody thought they had it figured out, then these outsiders from a different game came in and just invaded, like, the Vikings or something.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially, of course, it would be Flesh and Blood. Of
Yeah,
course.
oh yeah, trust me. We weren't happy with it. We weren't happy at all.
Yo, no,
gotta do
I don't know. I was good with it because, like I said, I made top 8 and I knocked out half their I knocked out half their team.
That's
So
awesome.
I was happy and then got knocked out by my own creation. I'm like, this is childish.
You have a you have a YouTube documentary thing right here. Just get everybody to sit down and tell their side of the story, and you cut that thing together. You got yourself a spicy Alpha
Yeah.
Clash content.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, that would actually be hilarious.
yeah, it would.
I
Yeah.
actually
Well, have y'all
have an
seen-
idea.
What'd you
Have y'all
say?
seen the Super Smash Brothers?
I haven't
I
seen
have
it.
not.
No.
I'm gonna ask you. Can you send it? I'm gonna ask you to send that to me.
Is it on
actually wanna see
YouTube?
it.
Or is it like
Yeah,
an
it's on
actual-
YouTube.
Okay, I have to check it out.
It's like an 8 episode. I think it's 8 episode documentary about like the inception of the competitive Smash all the way up until like its first resurgence. And
Okay,
it covers the best players of each era of that.
That's cool.
see that's
Yeah, it's one of.
No, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's just like for being a YouTube documentary, it is so good, so much better than having right to be, and it got me playing Super Smash Brothers Melee, fairly seriously amongst friends. Like it convinced me that it is truly the best video game ever made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My one thing that I did forget to mention, but I'm gonna mention now. So recently, I saw you guys were on TCG News's YouTube video, and he was talking about the Kickstarter. How did that feel? Just before you guys go, how did that feel to see, somebody live kind of react to seeing your Kickstarter? I absolutely loved watching him watch the trailer. Like, it really blew his mind, which was really cool. But how did it make you guys feel?
Why don't you start, Danny?
Yeah, I think it was validating, because it's weird when you make the game, you don't know how strangers are going to respond to it, and you're always worried that, to an extent, the people that you teach the game are influenced by the fact that they're sitting with the creators of the game and they don't want to hurt your feelings, and so to see someone who put that out there, knowing that they're a stranger on the internet, they can say whatever they want about us, and they chose to say very complimentary things. That was very validating. That we are on the right track. We are making a game that people resonate with, and just keep doing what you're doing, kind of thing.
Yeah. When Danny sent me a link to that video, because I think he had been tipped off by TCG News. He had sent our Kickstarter a message or something like that. So Danny knew it was coming, and he sent it to us. And he said, "Oh, I think you need to skip to I don't know, 5 minutes in or something like that. That's when we start." But I was like, might as well watch it from the beginning. So he goes through 4 games in that video, and the first 2 games he's very polite to them. He has constructive feedback on them.
Yeah.
And, he gets to those first 2 games, then he watches X Seekers of Fortune trailer, and you hear the temperature change in his voice. The fire comes alive in him.
Yeah.
I dare anybody to go watch that TCG News video, because he just is like, that's how it's done. He was super complimentary toward the trailer. Ori's work shines through so thoroughly. He had the best things to say about all the graphics that we put in all this time and effort into on the Kickstarter itself. LD Forest did an amazing job laying out all the value and teaching people how to play the game all in one page. And then he goes on to watch one more trailer, and he couldn't help himself but say, "Man, I'm still thinking about X Seekers of Fortune," when he was watching the 4th trailer up. So I was validating is to say the least. Validating to say the least.
Yeah, it was very cool. I also ended up watching the whole video because I wanted to see how he reacted to other games, because I don't like when creators just kind of peddle to everyone. So I wanted to see how he reacted to other games first before I saw how he reacted to X Seekers. But yeah, once he saw that trailer, he was like, "That is a professionally made game right there." He was like, "These guys know what they're doing." I was like, "Yeah, I know, guy."
Which is what you want to say. Again, I'm a person that I believe in honest, constructive criticism. Don't tell me what you want, what you think I want to hear. Tell me the truth. Tell me how it feels. How does it make you feel? Is it interesting? Is it interesting to you, but maybe not gameplay wise? And I believe, those are things that people need to do, and not just, I'm going to throw shade at Yu-Gi-Oh! And not be a Yu-Gi tuber where you just like everything because you think Konami is going to pay you for your videos. Be honest. People respect honesty from reviews. Like that's how games improve. That's how games grow. Is those honest reviews. Like, hey, like the game came out. It was this. You know, I was sold this one thing when I got it and played it. It wasn't that like. Or hey, when I got the game, it's exactly what I said plus more. And that's what I would say. Like again, when people give you honest reviews and honest feedback, that's what makes it get better.
That's exactly right, and it reminds me. We had one of our community members, Andy, join the community, and when he first played the game, he played the game. I don't remember exactly what he said, and then he came back to us and he gave us basically like a paper he had written about what was wrong with the game, and he's like, "Hey, respectfully, this is what's wrong with the game." And I remember taking the paper and I read the paper and I called Joel. I'm like, hey, I just read Andy's paper. He's right. like we got to fix this, So, you need those people who are going to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, if you just are truly motivated to make the best possible game, you shouldn't be afraid of people telling you like, hey, there's a better way. And that doesn't mean that everyone who tells you something about your game is correct. But that's why you have a community and you listen to a lot of people. And so like today, if like I met somebody and they said, hey, I think this is a problem in the game. First thing I'm doing is I'm going to call Jay Crane and Laird and Andy, and say, hey, we got this feedback. How do you feel about that? And they'll say, I don't know. That doesn't resonate with me. Or, yeah, I have been kind of feeling that way. And then we know we have homework, So
yeah. I kind of want to piggyback on something Danny just said right there about people giving us feedback, and just to make sure that your entire community knows this and we're very aware of it. Yes, we do know that Elon Musk is trying to own the letter X. We do know that for many people, it has ruined the letter X. X marks the spot. X equals danger. We will take this letter back. Don't you worry.
Yes.
It's not a problem. It's exactly what the game needs. X, Seekers of Fortune, tells a story. And just letting you know, we're well aware of the notoriety of the letter X at this point.
That's funny.
We get a lot of that.
Really? You guys get a lot of that?
We get,
At
a fair
least
amount of people will be like, hey, you guys should change the name of the game. I'm like, the ship has sailed.
Yeah, it's kind of past that.
We're good.
But it's always that reason. It hasn't been like, they haven't come up with something better. They're always just like, we're like, why should we change the name of the game? And it's always, well, because X has been kind of ruined, and it's just like,
Okay, but what else? But why?
Yeah.
Why? Or what do we change it to? Big smart guy?
Yeah, exactly. I guess they just want Seekers. Yeah, I was going to say they just want Seekers of Fortune.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like, it just doesn't have the same ring to it. It doesn't
for me,
the
pop.
X.
At all.
Yeah.
Plus, I also like the whole design of it, where it's like the big X and then it's like Seekers of Fortune. So, yeah, I think stick with it. We'll take it back from Elon Musk, like you said.
I like it.
What we need to do is we need to buy a Cybertruck and then cover it in X Seekers of Fortune.
And just drive around.
Yep.
That right there honestly be the best publicity of all time.
Yeah, because you can't take your eyes off of Cybertruck. Even if you think they're ugly as sin, you can't take your eyes off of them.
No, you can't.
Out there.
Not at all.
Have y'all gotten the pleasure of driving near one?
Yep, there's one that is near where I am, so we see it randomly as it drives around every once in a while. But
me too.
Very soon.
I didn't see one drive next to me, but I seen one being towed by police trucks.
Something he was trying to start the cyberpunk lifestyle off real quick after doing that.
So that was hilarious to me, and I pulled over. I said, "What happened?" They said, "Keep going." I said, "Absolutely, officer." Because whatever it was none of my business.
He got some point there.
Yeah, every time I see it drive by, I go, "Oh my God, look! There's a douchebag in there somewhere."
My credit is good. That's nice.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys being here. Everybody, will make sure that we include the link to the Kickstarter, to Megamoth's page, to their YouTube if you guys want to check out the Super Secret Podcast. You could also follow my link to get into the Discord. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for talking about the game, and I hope to continue to see it. Because how many more days does the Kickstarter have? It's until the end of the month, right?
Yeah, I think it's 19 maybe. Let me see.
I
I'll
have
go
the
to the page
link
right
up
now.
here. It's
19 or 18, something like that.
Yeah,
trying to get it down here. 18 more days.
18 more days. Okay.
Yep, 18 more days. So we're a little less than halfway. But,
Okay.
yeah, so we're gonna hopefully see it grow. We'll probably end up bringing it back up near the end so that we can show off, where you guys got up to, and then hopefully once we get our copies sometime in November, December, we'll do some live play.
We
We're
love
also
it.
doing a
Because-
giveaway.
Yeah. Also be doing a giveaway. So
That's
Oh,
amazing.
hell yeah.
Well,
yes,
we're super
all
excited
right.
to hang out with y'all at Origins, and thank you so much for having us on the show. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was super fun.
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We
for-
really
thank you for
appreciate
coming
it.
by.
Yeah, thank you
Anytime.
very much.
All right.
All right, everyone. This has been the Road Contenders. Again, we'll be back next week, but we will be live at Origins. We'll probably be doing weird stuff. I still have no idea how we're going to film the podcast. I just have this Yeti mic, and I don't want to walk around with it, and because I will show it in people's faces.
I have mini mics. I'll bring mini mics.
Yeah, mini mics.
Yeah,
okay.
I have mini
So,
mics.
so we'll be around, just meeting with everybody, go around the convention. We'll try to just randomly see if we can interview. So many. We're gonna be weird. That's why we're gonna be weird about it. We'll get weird.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be at Origins, stop by. I'll be at X Seekers of Fortune's table on Saturday. Me and Ryo will also be at Alpha Clash's table. I think like Friday. But yeah, stop by, say hi to us. Maybe we'll ask you a question live and put you on the podcast.
Nice.
Forcefully,
Yeah.
forcefully, and we're not paying you either.
Wouldn't have expect otherwise.
Your disclaimer is me saying hi. If you say, "Well, I didn't know that," I listen to the podcast. I will give you the newsletter where you can sign up. That way you can get information about the podcast.
Yes.
See? Everything works out.
Yep. 100%.
But again, thank you so much, gentlemen, for stopping by. As again, listeners, we'll be back next week live from Origins, and then that following week we will have some recaps and all that other fun stuff. But again, it's been the Road Contenders.
See you next week.